Dance Bugs, and welcome back to another follow-up video. These videos are meant to be a complement to many of the online dance classes that we've been holding over the past several weeks. And these videos just kind of are meant to give you a little bit of a slower and clearer practice tool for you to work with. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about swiveling actions. So most of the time this is geared towards the lady, but by no means is this meant to exclude the gentlemen or the leaders. In fact, there are swivel actions for the leaders, so I would say this is valuable both for leaders and followers. So we've been working on swivels in our silver rumba class, and in fact we've been working on shadow swivels. And there will be a video up on that one as well coming shortly. Swivel actions. The common mistake that people make, or a little boo-boo I like to call it, is that people try and send their leg out first and then swivel, right? They're sending their leg and then swiveling, sending their leg. So you can see it's very jagged, it's a little bit heavy, and it just frankly looks super unattractive. What we want to remember is that any twisting or turning action always comes from the supporting foot. In fact, it initiates from the core, but we're just talking about footwork in this video, so that's what I'm going to focus on. So if my right foot is free and I'm going to swivel to my right, I don't actually want to think about sending the right foot out. So you see I've opened up my thighs there and it's very disconnected. What I want to focus on is actually my left foot, because that's the foot that has the weight. And so by swiveling or twisting on the left foot in the direction that I'm going to go on, now I can release my right foot to be ready to step forward. And you should be able to see that it's a much more attractive line. I will now place my weight forward onto that foot, and then the same principle will apply. This foot has the weight. This foot is the one that does the work. And you see the other foot just automatically reacts to it. In fact, it's the foot and the leg, of course. So you're going to always have this really nice, consistent swivel. Now, I happen to be stepping and swiveling without using any brushing action. So the brushing action is when we collect the other foot as we're swiveling before we release it out. And that's what creates that really sexy look for the ladies. When they transfer, they brush as they swivel and release. Brush as you swivel and change. Brush and change. Slow, wah, slow, wah, slow, wah, slow. Okay? So now all of a sudden we took this twisty action and we really gave it some beautiful flow and continuity. And of course, I can't stress enough the importance of extending the toes, extending the legs, pointing those toes, and really showing a nice long leg line. So again, it's the supporting foot that's moving you on to the direction you want to swivel on. You will then now swivel on that foot, and as I do that, I naturally like to collect my feet beneath my body and then be ready to move onto the next foot. So I'm going to swivel and brush and release the foot. Change the weight, swivel, brush, release. Change the weight, swivel, brush, release. So I would recommend doing this very slowly in these 4 parts. Moving the weight, swiveling, brushing, pointing. Now, obviously, when you do them just one individual portion at a time, it doesn't look as pretty. So you want to start slowly practicing changing your weight, and as you swivel, you're just going to allow, it's like you're squeezing your thighs together, so as you swivel, those ankles come neatly together, and then by the time you're finished in the direction you want to be in, you can release that toe out. Okay? So I change my weight. Now, as I swivel and brush and point, I'm going to get that action. Change, swivel, brush, point. See? So that's what creates that little kind of half moon caress, I call it, on the dance floor, okay? Generally for gentlemen, in the particular pattern we were working on in the shadow swivels, because the lady is going to be somewhat in front of you, you're not going to have the same kind of space to do a full-on brushing and pointing action. And frankly, it just, for me, it doesn't look as good. And it takes a little bit away from the lady. So the gentleman is still going to swivel and extend, but I would say for the gentleman, maybe don't worry so much about the brush. So for the gentleman, I would transfer my weight, and then you're still going to kind of relax the knees a little bit and straighten. Change and straighten and change and change. So there is a swiveling action. So if my lady were in front of me and we were swiveling in shadow, I can still have a nice leg action, but I'm not really kind of bothering with the brushing or worrying about the lady being in my way, okay? But the same principle applies. Place your weight. The foot that has weight is the one doing the twisting, and then you can change your weight onto the other foot. That one then has the twisting job. Change and change and change, okay? This is a little bit more reminiscent if you're doing swivels in things like jive and swing, where really we're gonna allow the thighs to open up, okay? So, but still in that case, it is still supporting foot, right? We're just allowing, we're opening our ankles a bit more, whereas before we were kind of trying to keep a straighter leg line. Now we're actually really opening up the ankle there. So as we change and we overextend the rotation, change and change and change, 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 change. So this is definitely what you would call kind of like the twist swivel. That's very common, again, in dances like swing and jive. Now, swing also has a more of a closed swivel, known as the Sugarfoot swivels. You'll see this a little bit in West Coast as well. So similar idea to the fact that we're going to be twisting, but a lot of times when you see patterns like the ladies throw out to Sugarfoot swivel, or just simply throw out to swivel, it is an extended swivel and it's meant to travel, right? So when we step, you're still placing your weight, you're swiveling, and now you're extending forward and forward. Okay, so I'll do that from this perspective. So we have, I'm pointing in the direction I'm going, I'm moving forward, swivel, forward, swivel, forward, swivel, forward. Okay, I'll do it towards the camera. Swivel, forward, swivel, forward, swivel, forward, swivel, forward. This is very similar to what we just did for our rumba. The difference is generally, our rumba swivels are meant mostly to be stationary, okay? They're a nice, sexy styling. Maybe the gentleman is leading us to do swivels with a two-hand hold, or in the case of our silver pattern, doing swivels in shadow position, okay? So those are the two main kinds of swivels. We've got our twist swivels and what I like to call our Sugarfoot swivels or our slow swivels, okay? So one has more brushing, and one is more based on twisting action. Okay guys, I hope you found that very helpful. If you have any other questions, of course, you know where to find us, comedancing.ca. And if I missed anything, make sure to let me know. So in the meantime, I will see you guys in the next video. Happy dancing, everyone.